my name is Nasreen. I'm a registered dietitian specializing in pediatric nutrition with NutriProCan in Ontario, Canada. Today, I'll be talking about topics to support your child's immune system when going back to school. So let's get started. Time for school. You might be feeling very excited or even nervous. You're probably busy trying to prepare their backpacks, new clothes, schedules, lunches, pick up and drop off times, all of that stuff. But one of the most common issues a lot of parents and caregivers face is, how can I get my child healthy and ready for school? You may also be feeling very anxious about your child or multiple children or your whole family getting sick, and that can be very overwhelming for everybody in the household. So let's talk about some ways to help better support your child's immune system when starting school. Let's begin by discussing how diet can impact your child's immune system. So it's very important for children to have a varied and nutritionally balanced diet to support their immune function. Nutrients from their diet can help improve functionality of the immune system as well as reduce the severity of their illness. Children, on average, should try to incorporate about 1 serving of vegetables or fruits at each meal and snack. It's not always possible at the beginning, but it's a good goal to aim for. And 1 serving would be considered about half a cup of vegetables or fruit or 1 medium fruit. Aim for balanced meals as much as you can at each meal. So a balanced meal would consist of a vegetable or fruit, a protein source such as meat, poultry, seafood, legumes, tofu, or plant-based alternatives, and then a carbohydrate. So that could be rice, pasta, bread, or potatoes. I like to make it easier for kids by recommending that every child meets about 1/3 of their plate of each. It's just easier to remember and easier to follow, but remember, you don't always have to get there right away. Of all the food groups, vegetables and fruit provide the most antioxidants and the most nutrients to help support their immune system to better fight off infections. So the more color a fruit or vegetable has, the better. So that could include things like berries, carrots, sweet potatoes, dark leafy greens, broccoli, asparagus, beets, avocados, and squash. So these foods, again, have a lot of those antioxidants, a lot of vitamin C, and a lot of phytochemicals to help them and fight off the infections and support their immune system. Don't ever feel pressured if your child doesn't meet this right away. It's very, very normal, and many children have difficulty meeting their needs for vegetables and fruit. So start slow, gradually work up to it. Work with foods and textures that they already enjoy or that they're already familiar with, and use things like food chaining techniques. You can work with a dietitian for this to introduce them to new vegetables and fruits. You may also choose to use other methods of incorporating vegetables and fruits in their food. So, for example, smoothies, blended in sauces or soups, or added into baked goods. You can even play around with it in different shapes, colors, textures, and let the kids get involved as well. So if your child is very picky or particular with vegetables, but they prefer fruit, which tends to be the common case amongst children, they may actually still be meeting their nutrient needs. Vegetables and fruits are pretty much identical in nutrient quality, the main difference being that fruits just contain that sugar, the natural sugar. But it's still very important to encourage a variety of foods as much as possible to reduce the possibility of developing picky eating behaviors as they grow up, and just to get that exposure to different flavors and textures. Picky eating, however, is very, very common amongst children. It's the biggest complaint that I receive in my practice. And if you do feel like your child isn't meeting their nutrient needs or isn't eating from all food groups, they may actually benefit from supplementation. This brings me to the discussion of the importance of adding vitamins or supplements in your child's diet to better support their immune system. Vitamin D is one of the most common deficiencies and the most prescribed supplement amongst adults and children. It's very difficult to obtain from diet and very difficult to absorb from the sun due to sunscreen use, as this can block the UVB rays from synthesizing vitamin D in our skin. Vitamin D is involved in regulating certain genes involved in immunity against bacterial and viral pathogens. Clinical studies have also shown that vitamin D deficiency can lead to higher rates of infection, autoimmunity, and allergies amongst children and adults. So it's recommended to supplement vitamin D for infants 12 months and younger. The recommendation is 400 international units per day, and for toddlers and adolescents, it is 600 international units per day. It's a fat-soluble vitamin, so it's best to take it in the morning with food, and it's also found in different fortified products such as cow's milk, yogurt, cereal, and some real fruit juices. So vitamin D is a very important nutrient that can help with immune support, and it's recommended to supplement this when possible. Omega-3 is another vitamin that can play a crucial role in immunity amongst children and adults alike. DHA, specifically in omega-3s, are not only essential for children's cognitive development and behavioral performances, but also support children's ability to fight off infection by reducing the body's inflammatory response to illness. Omega-3s tend to also be very difficult to obtain from diet since they're primarily found in a lot of fatty foods such as fatty fish and smaller amounts in plant oils, nuts, and seeds. So the recommendation of dosing for the supplement is 500 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams depending on a child's age and their needs, and can actually be given to them as early as birth. Fun fact, since omega-3 and vitamin D are both fat soluble, you may actually be able to find them in a combined supplement, which can make it easier when giving them to your children. Increasing evidence has shown that deficiency of vitamin C and zinc can significantly impact mental and physical development in children and can even impair their immune system. Although nutrition should be the primary source of these nutrients, supplementation may be beneficial. Zinc is primarily found in foods such as meat, fish, seafood, eggs, and dairy products. Vitamin C is mostly found in vegetables and fruits like kiwi, oranges, broccoli, cauliflower, peppers, strawberries, and tomatoes. If you believe your child is not meeting their needs for zinc or vitamin C from food, the recommended dose to supplement is 5 to 10 milligrams of zinc and 15 to 75 milligrams of vitamin C per day. Finally, let's talk about another very, very important nutrient to support immunity, which is iron. So iron deficiency, which is a very common deficiency amongst children, unfortunately, may also be associated with decreased immunity. Iron deficiency has been linked to lower levels of certain white blood cells and impaired immune response amongst children. If your child consumes too many dairy products, if they drink a lot of milk, it can actually impair iron absorption because the calcium and iron can compete for absorption in their body, therefore causing iron deficiency. Additionally, if they do not consume enough iron from their diet, so foods with iron would include things like meat, legumes, leafy greens, fortified cereals, fortified products in general, or if they're genetically susceptible to deficiency, if it runs in the family, you may want to discuss further testing, do some blood work maybe with your pediatrician to find out if iron supplementation would be the most appropriate thing for your child. Although it's not recommended to supplement for everybody, you would want to make sure that your child sees their pediatrician first and gets that supplementation if they really need it, if they are deficient. But it's very important to recognize its value in supporting your little one's immunity. Similarly to supplements and vitamins, let's discuss the benefits of probiotics when it comes to supporting your child's immune system. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and the World Health Organization defines probiotics as live microorganisms which, when administered in adequate amounts, confer a health benefit on the host. So in plain language, probiotics are good microbes or good bacteria that improve certain aspects of our health. Each probiotic is unique, has a very specific intended purpose, which with specific types of strains that work on different health conditions. So this can include antibiotic-associated diarrhea, childhood eczema, even colic. These friendly microbes can actually also help us digest fiber and other nutrients in our body. Lactobacillus rhamnosus is a specific probiotic chain shown to have multiple health benefits that include improving the gut barrier, blocking unhealthy bacteria from infiltrating the gut, and regulating immune response. This bacteria can bind to certain immune cells that promote a type 1 immune responsiveness. This means it can stimulate intestinal cells that can fight off harmful bacteria and viruses. It's often also added to probiotic-rich foods to enhance their probiotic content. So these foods include dairy products, yogurt, cheese, milk, as well as kefir. And they also come in pill or powder form, which is the supplement form of this probiotic. Both adults and children can take this probiotic to help support their immune system. I would recommend the specific brand Culturelle, and it's the Culturelle Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG or LGG for children. It's the most clinically researched probiotic strain in children, and it is a proven option to promote overall gut health, which is an important factor in supporting their overall immune system. And Culturelle is available in different forms of supplementation, including chewable or flavorless packets of powder that can be added to water to make it easier to get down. And Culturelle Immune Defense Kids is also available as a chewable, which in addition to providing a healthy gut, also helps to support their immune system. There are many things that you and your children can do on a day-to-day basis as well that can help support your immune system as well as reduce the severity of illness. These include things such as good hygiene, physical activity, proper rest, hydration, and vaccination. When it comes to hygiene, it's very important to encourage that everyone in the household practices good hygiene. So covering their coughs with their elbows, washing their hands frequently before and after meals or after messy activities or after being outside, masking whenever needed, and staying away from sick people when you can. It's also important to recognize that vaccination can also be very helpful when preventing certain illnesses. So staying on top of vaccines with children to help reduce the severity or prevent certain viruses and illnesses can be very, very beneficial. Physical activity is another lifestyle factor that has been shown in multiple studies amongst children and adults to be an excellent way to support the immune system by decreasing duration and intensity of certain illnesses. Movement does not need to be a specific sport, rather anything that your child enjoys and gets their body moving. So it could be the playground, dancing, walking, biking, swimming, whatever they enjoy. And on the contrary, rest is actually also very important to support their immune system, and it's very important for children to be well rested, especially if they are very active or have very busy schedules. The recommended sleep duration ranges from about 8 to 14 hours of sleep depending on their age, and this also includes naps during the day. Lastly, it's very important to ensure that your child maintains adequate hydration, as this can support many different aspects of your child's health that include improving blood circulation, functionality of the organs, and maintaining healthy bones and teeth. It's also involved in keeping the mucosal membranes hydrated in order to fight off infection. Water intake recommendations range anywhere from 4 ounces when they're infants and toddlers up to 8 cups when they hit their teens. It is completely normal for children to get sick pretty often throughout the year, sometimes even twice in the same month. On average, children of preschool and toddler age can be sick with respiratory illnesses, colds, or stomach bugs anywhere from 8 to 12 times a year, sometimes even more. And no matter how much you sanitize, clean, do all of that, children will bring home sicknesses just due to exposure from daycare, schools, public spaces, and family visits. There are nearly 200 different cold viruses alone that can consistently mutate, so it is nearly impossible to prevent illness, and exposure to viruses and bacteria alone can actually help build our immune system. So, is getting sick completely preventable? No, but following a healthy diet and lifestyle, taking the appropriate supplements when needed can provide huge benefits to immune support. But remember, we're all human, and getting sick is just a normal part of life. But if you're ever concerned about your child's health, their nutrition, it's very, very important to be following up with their pediatrician, with their pediatric dietitian, to ensure that you're getting the support that you need for both you and your child.